Well, the breaking news of the night is that Donald Trump has made his second selection for Attorney General of the United States. Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was one of Donald Trump's defense lawyers in his first Senate impeachment trial. Viewers of this program, of course, have known for days now that Matt Gaetz was not going to be the next Attorney General. The only suspense being how long would the Gaetz drama continue. Yesterday, most TV news programs showed you video of Donald Trump giving a clear one-word answer to the question, are you reconsidering the Gaetz nomination? Donald Trump's clear one-word answer to that, seen all over TV news except here, was no. The reason I did not bother to show you that video was that I knew that that was a lie. Of course he was reconsidering the Gaetz nomination. And he must also be reconsidering any and all advice he gets from Elon Musk, who now has 3 strikes against him. Donald Trump has given Elon Musk the title of Director of the Department of Government Efficiency. There is no Department of Government Efficiency, and such a department could only be created by an act of Congress. Departments are the essential organizing structures of the executive branch of government: the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Defense, the Department of State, and the Department of Treasury were the very first 2 departments created by the first Congress. Donald Trump can use whatever words he wants to describe Elon Musk's job because it is a fake job, as I have previously reported on this program. The only power Elon Musk will have is the same power we all have, which is the power to lobby the Congress and the president to agree to spending cuts. Elon Musk's claim that he is going to cut $2 trillion from the budget, he's not going to cut anything. He will never have the power to cut anything. In the United States Senate, the power to institute real budget cuts belongs to the Senate Finance Committee, which has jurisdiction over the biggest pieces of the budget, Social Security and Medicare, along with Medicaid and other programs. And the other Senate committee with authority over the rest of the budget is the Appropriations Committee. Elon Musk has not yet attempted to lobby the Senate Appropriations Committee to legislate spending cuts that he recommends, but he has already struck out with powerful members of the Appropriations Committee who he would have to convince to carry out his spending cuts. NBC News is reporting, quote, at least 5 Senate Republicans, Senators Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma, and Senator-elect John Curtis of Utah were a no on Gaetz and had communicated to other senators and those close to Trump that they were unlikely to be swayed. The 3 senior-most senators there are members of the Senate Appropriations Committee: Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins. Susan Collins will be the chair of the Appropriations Committee next year. Elon Musk lobbied them, and lobbied them hard, to vote for Matt Gaetz, the richest person in the world who spends all day, every day with Donald Trump, lobbied those Republican senators to vote for Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, and they said, hell no. They said hell no to Elon Musk, and they weren't the only ones.
I know enough people that were a hell no in the conference to know that the path would have been very, very difficult.
Elon Musk will be the best positioned lobbyist in Washington, while the rest of us will have to just write letters to our members of Congress. Elon Musk can get any Republican member of Congress on the phone in a second and tell them what he wants them to do, and he can publicly issue his lobbying orders to Congress, as he has done repeatedly to the United States Senate since he became Donald Trump's constant companion. And the Senate has ignored Elon Musk each time. Elon Musk publicly urged Republican senators to vote for Rick Scott as the Republican Senate Majority Leader. That vote was taken in secret among Republican senators, and Elon Musk's candidate came in 3rd. That was strike 1. Then Elon Musk lobbied Donald Trump to choose Howard Lutnick for Secretary of the Treasury. And again, Elon Musk went public with his lobbying, urging Donald Trump to choose Howard Lutnick for Treasury. And Donald Trump instead chose Howard Lutnick for Secretary of Commerce, which ranks far below Treasury in the hierarchy of the cabinet. So Elon Musk failed in his attempt to lobby his new best friend in politics, Donald Trump, on who should be Secretary of the Treasury. That was strike two. The choice of Matt Gaetz for Attorney General was made by the three people in Trump world most disconnected from reality: Elon Musk, Matt Gaetz, and Donald Trump. They hatched a plan on Donald Trump's plane, and Donald Trump immediately and intemperately announced Matt Gaetz for Attorney General with Elon Musk's full support. Then Elon Musk went to work lobbying the United States Senate publicly to confirm Matt Gaetz. He just needed to convince 50 of next year's 53 Republican senators to vote for Matt Gaetz. And here's how he lobbied those Senate Republicans. Matt Gaetz has three critical assets that are needed for the AG role: a big brain, a spine of steel, and an axe to grind. He is the Judge Dredd America needs to clean up a corrupt system and put powerful bad actors in prison. Gaetz will be our hammer of justice. I promise you, 82-year-old Mitch McConnell doesn't know who Judge Dredd is. Then Elon Musk evaluated the growing then sex scandal around the Gaetz nomination, saying, as for these accusations against him, I consider them worth less than nothing. Under our laws, a man is considered innocent until proven guilty. If A.G. Garland could have secured a conviction against Gaetz, he would have, but he knew he could not. Case closed. Elon Musk thought the case was closed. Elon Musk told Republican senators the case was closed. And Republican senators said hell no to Elon Musk and to Donald Trump at the same time. Elon Musk struck out with Republican senators, and his striking out with Republican senators may be the most important longer-term story to emerge from the Gaetz nomination. Elon Musk tested his strength as a lobbyist with the Republican Senate, and he lost very badly. He lost 3 times in a row. 3 of the hell no votes against Elon Musk, Matt Gaetz, and Donald Trump, against all of them, are these senior members of the Senate Appropriations Committee. The committee Elon Musk is going to have to beg to vote for the spending cuts that he proposes. Susan Collins is going to be the chair of that committee. She said hell no to both Elon Musk and Donald Trump today. Lisa Murkowski, senior member of that committee, said hell no to both Elon Musk and Donald Trump today. And Mitch McConnell, unburdened by his position in leadership now, may become the Mitch McConnell of the 1990s. In that Senate, when he was chairman of the Senate Ethics Committee, and he investigated the powerful Republican chairman of the Senate Finance Committee at the time on sexual harassment charges, and Mitch McConnell led the Senate Ethics Committee to recommend the expulsion of that Republican senator. No one in the Senate was surprised in those days when Mitch McConnell did that, because Mitch McConnell was regarded then as an honorable senator who would approach the work of the Ethics Committee with integrity, and he did. And because I had watched the way Mitch McConnell ran that Senate Ethics Committee when I was working in the Senate, I had high hopes for Mitch McConnell when Donald Trump became president. I had high hopes that Mitch McConnell would be the one to say hell no to Donald Trump during the first Trump presidency. But Mitch McConnell made another choice in order to hold on to his position in leadership. And I was very wrong about having high hopes about him. But now Mitch McConnell is just the senior senator from Kentucky with no leadership burdens at all. Mitch McConnell's probably never going to run for re-election again. His seat is up in 2026. And so for the next 2 years, in his position on the Senate Appropriations Committee, Mitch McConnell will be in a position to say hell no to Elon Musk's proposals for cutting the federal budget. And Elon Musk has to be very, very careful with Mitch McConnell, because Mitch McConnell does cling to one point of power in the Appropriations Committee. Mitch McConnell will be the chairman of the subcommittee on defense spending. Mitch McConnell will have a lot to say about the funding that benefits defense contractor Elon Musk. And so, yes, an absurdly unqualified nominee for Attorney General has been crushed by Republican senators. That's who crushed that nomination. But more importantly, for the way we will be governed in the next 4 years, Mitch McConnell finally found his hell no voice. Mitch McConnell might never stand in Donald Trump's way again. This might be a one-time event. But the fact that he did say no when Donald Trump had gone into personal lobbying mode, calling senators, asking them for their vote, is an indication, and only an indication, that there could be real resistance among Republicans in the United States Senate to Donald Trump's most inappropriate ideas. If Mitch McConnell knows he's not going to run for re-election, that makes him even stronger in his ability to say hell no to Donald Trump. Remember all that video that was all over cable news yesterday of Matt Gaetz walking the halls of the Senate with Senator J.D. Vance, who was suddenly supposed to be a powerful Senate player? Remember the confidence they both exuded as they walked past the reporters? It was all nonsense. It was the hopeless loser parade, and everyone in the Senate knew it. And what was J.D. Vance doing today? Exactly the same thing, with the other Trump nominee drowning in what is now the most prominent sex scandal of the Trump transition. What happened in room 528? That is the subject of a Monterey Police Department report released in response to a public records request by reporter Joshua Kopich of KSW News in California. The 15-page police report describes an unnamed woman's memory of what she says was the rape she suffered in Pete Hegseth's Hyatt hotel room in Monterey, California in October 2017. She was one of the women in attendance at an event, a gathering of Republican women in that hotel where Fox weekend host Pete Hegseth was the keynote speaker. The woman identified in the police report is identified only as Jane Doe, and she is seen, police saw her on hotel surveillance video with Pete Hegseth. That's on hotel surveillance video. The police report indicates she, quote, believes that something may have been slipped into her drink as she cannot remember most of the night's events. She ended up in Pete Hegseth's hotel room, room 528. She told the police she remembers Pete Hegseth on top of her with his shirt off and his dog tags hanging from his neck down into her face. When the Monterey police got Pete Hegseth on the phone 10 days later, he admitted that the woman identified as Jane Doe was in room 528 with him, and he admitted that he had sex with her. He was even asked to describe the positions, and Pete Hegseth's descriptions of the positions confirm that his dog tags would have been hanging in her face. Pete Hegseth insisted to the police that the sex that happened in that room was completely consensual. Hotel personnel who were interviewed by the police described an incident near the hotel pool that night where Pete Hegseth was being loud and disorderly. The hotel security told the police that when they approached Pete Hegseth being overly loud at the pool at 1:30 a.m., quote, Hegseth began to curse. Hegseth told blank that he had freedom of speech. Jane Doe intervened and told blank that they were Republicans and apologized for Hegseth's action. Blank stated Jane Doe placed her hand and arm on the back of Hegseth and escorted him toward Building 4 and 5. Blank stated he watched Hegseth and Jane Doe disappear into the area of Building 5. Blank stated Hegseth was very intoxicated. Blank stated Jane Doe was not intoxicated, was standing on her own, and was very coherent. Other witnesses told the Monterey police that Pete Hegseth seemed to be on a campaign to get some woman, any woman, to come back to his hotel room that night. A witness described Pete Hegseth's approach to another woman earlier in the evening. During the conversation, Blank stated Hegseth placed his hand on Blank's knee. Blank made it clear that his hand on her knee was not acceptable. Despite the touching, Blank stated she was not uncomfortable. Blank stated Hegseth had invited her back to his hotel room. Blank stated she politely declined the invitation. The police report says this about the police interview of Pete Hegseth. Hegseth stated he was buzzed but not intoxicated. Hegseth did not know who was leading him from the bar. Hegseth described the person's clothing. The person wore blank. Hegseth described Jane Doe's dress. Hegseth did not remember being chastised for being too loud and did not remember an argument by the pool. Hegseth did not remember being belligerent with anyone. So that's Pete Hegseth, who claims he was buzzed but not intoxicated, contradicting the hotel security who told the police that Pete Hegseth was very drunk and very noisy. There were no hotel witnesses who contradicted anything that Jane Doe said. Hegseth's statement to the police confirms some details in Jane Doe, the unnamed woman's statement. Hegseth told police that she, quote, asked Hegseth if he had a condom. Jane Doe had already told police exactly that more than a week before the Hegseth police interview. Hegseth confirmed Jane Doe's memory that he was wearing dog tags, and Hegseth's statement confirmed the precise and graphic detail of the way he reached a climax. Hegseth's statement in the police report ends this way. Hegseth gave her something to clean up, and Jane Doe later got dressed. Jane Doe's version of that moment in her statement to the police was, Hegseth threw a towel at her and asked her, "Are you okay?" Hegseth's lawyer, Tim Palatori, issued a statement today dismissing the entire incident and saying, quote, this police report confirms what I've said all along, that the incident was fully investigated and police found the allegation to be false, which is why no charges were filed. That is not true. The police report does not find the allegations to be false. The last line of the police report is, I recommend this case be forwarded to the Monterey County District Attorney's Office for review. That lie will be told every day by some Republican supporting Pete Hegseth's nomination for Secretary of Defense. You will be lied to every day by at least one Republican who will tell you that the police report found the allegations to be false. That is a lie. Pete Hegseth married his first wife in 2004. Pete Hegseth transitioned from his first marriage to his second marriage by starting an affair during his first marriage. During his second marriage, Pete Hegseth had an affair with someone working at Fox who got pregnant during that affair and had a baby. Pete Hegseth's second wife filed for divorce in September of 2017 upon discovering that her husband's girlfriend working at Fox had a baby a month earlier. So Pete Hegseth has a baby with his girlfriend that he met working at Fox in August 2017. His wife files for divorce in September of 2017, and he's in room 528 in October of 2017 with his dog tags, as the police report put it, hovering over her face. 2 years later, Pete Hegseth married the girlfriend who had the baby 2 months before the alleged rape. And at some point in the next year, Pete Hegseth paid Jane Doe, the woman who accuses him of rape, a financial settlement of some kind to avoid a possible lawsuit from her. Pete Hegseth's lawyer told the New York Times that he paid the woman to try to keep the matter secret because, quote, he feared he might lose his job as a Fox News anchor if the allegation became public. And he's right. He would lose his job as a Fox anchor over those allegations. Fox was run from its founding by the sexual predator Roger Ailes, whose biggest star, Bill O'Reilly, was finally dismissed because of his behavior as a sexual predator at work that cost the network millions upon millions of dollars. So yeah, accusations like that would get you fired now as a weekend host from Fox, because now Fox has higher standards, and Fox has higher standards than Donald Trump. You can sexually abuse anyone you want, and Donald Trump is more likely to see that as a qualification than as a reason not to hire you. Donald Trump, the self-confessed sexual assaulter on the Access Hollywood video, wants the world to believe there's no such thing as sexual assault. There's no such thing as rape. That's why Donald Trump chose Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. He wanted the affirmation of the United States Senate in the confirmation process to, in effect, say the women are all lying. Matt Gaetz did nothing wrong. Now Donald Trump is asking Republicans in the United States Senate to vote in favor of everything Pete Hegseth did in room 528 while he was still married to wife number 2 and having the affair with the woman who'd become wife number 3. The question now is, will 4 Republican senators, that's all it takes, 4 Republican senators, will 4 Republican senators say hell no to Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump?